Hello, one and all, and welcome back, of course, to LCR Season 5. We are here for our part 13 of this thrilling 16-part saga. We are here at the Marina Bay in Singapore for this beautiful 3.15 mile circuit. We're offering 23 corners ahead of the guys, with 14 to the left, 9 are to the right, with 2 DRS zones, but it doesn't look as if we're going to need them because of the wet weather. We have 30 laps. The Hypersoft, Ultrasofts and soft tyres available for the guys. Intermediates and wets definitely not as if they're going to be needed. But let's just have a look. Just a couple of minutes ago, we had a quite frankly gripping qualifying session, and here is the grid for you. So, one pole position, surprise, surprise, it is LCR Leopard again. Alongside him, though, Theo Verstappen with another one-lap wonder. He starts in P2. P3 is the Canadian of VSR Dralex, with alongside him LCR's resident flying Finn in P4. Row 3. Drizzles Avenge, good qualifying. Alongside him, the two-time race winner of Boris Letterbox in P6. Row 4 in the end is AOR Charlie, who leads the line on that one. Alongside him, the two-time pro champion of Waystall. And then at the start of row 9, it is King Liam 25, who starts way down the field in P9. Alongside him, LCR Visualize in P10. And finally, the two outside the top 10 on row 6 is LCR Apex and Gorse Grab, which means it's an all-reserve back row. But the guys are just about now starting the formation lap. And my name's LCR, ahead alongside me, TOR Smith. And Smith, what a qualifying session that was.
Quite unbelievable. First talking point is, what a catastrophic error from King Liam, coming out too late to set his final lap, and he's down in 9th. He's got such a big job in his hand if he wants to get a truckload of points today. But obviously, again, championship leader LCR Leopard showing he's got it when he needs it, setting that fastest lap, and obviously Verstappen splitting between him and Dralex. So it's going to be a real interesting race here. Obviously, like as we expected, it's full wet as well, so it's going to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, and of course, it is a whopping 18 points between the top 3. Technically, between the top 4, but of course, VSR Clonetroop is out for the season. He has retired, which means, just a quick inform you, LCR Leopard, 148. 7 points behind him, 141 for King Liam 25. And then what is 11 points behind him, and a total of 18 points behind Leopard, is 130 with VSR Dralex. Dralex starts from P3, Liam starts from P9, and Leopard is in the prime seat on pole position. And one thing that is clinical to mention, the stats are in favour of Leopard at Singapore. Of course, Singapore is a street track, for those who don't know. It's a brilliant opportunity if you have the track position to do well, and the only time LCR has been to the Singapore Grand Prix, the man on pole position won it, so it is definitely advantage to the German. But Formula 1 is not a sport which is driven on stats, as Apex will be the final man of 11 to park up on the grid, and we get ready for those 5 red lights as per usual. Part 13 and part 16, and LCR is off in Singapore, and it's a fairly start there for Theo Verstappen. Okay start by LCR Leopard. In fact, he gets okay fairly well. Good start for LCR Visualize. Good King 25 further down. Verstappen undefending against VSR Dralex round the outside through turn 1. It's exactly what he needs to do off the line to try and get past the invading Dutchman. Around the outside goes the head. He couldn't quite do it. Johnny meanwhile doing his best as a calm around as Charlie. Then Verstappen gets an awful man out of turn 3. That leaves Dralex able to go through. Boris trying to defend against Theo Verstappen, trying to take advantage of that game P3. As of course he got past Johnny off the line as well. Good news for him, bad news for Van Diesel position off the line. He's down to P6, but what a start for the Renault. They are side by side in towards turn number 7. Can he do it on the inside limit? But the contact, but still Boris is round. Verstappen then tries to go past. Johnny then takes advantage. He's back up to P3. Now look at that. Verstappen now darts to the inside and goes out of nowhere. Then Waystall comes in. Where enough the pro driver come from? The two-time pro champion with a hell of a start. He's now in a P4. His teammate falls miles down the field as he rises up through the packs. But off at the front, with already 3 seconds between them, it's Leopard who leads. Dralex second, Johnny third, Waystall fourth, and Brad still holds P5. But Liam's up in a P6, Smith.
Oh wow, unbelievable start there. Not quite sure what happened. Obviously, I think Verstappen, that's definitely was Verstappen's fault there. He touched the rear tyre of Boris. Boris was in front. He touched him, obviously spun Boris round, and obviously that turned around. But then obviously Dralex getting that move done on Verstappen as well was massively key for him. Now he's just got to focus on trying to get past Leopard. I think they've already pulled out 2.5 seconds. Johnny's managed to bring it down already, but they've got a massive gap back to third now. But hopefully everything, brilliant start from the Waystall as well. And like we say, Liam, he's already up to 6th. If he can make up a few more positions, Still all to play for.
Yeah, longest track on the calendar in terms of race distance, and when you add the wet into a factor, it gets even bloody longer. But of course, he's now on the back of the American, as just mentioned. He's going to want to get past as soon as possible. We can see Wastel getting away in the distance. Him and Gianni are really making progress so far. Brad is not, though. Down the inside goes Liam, attention towards turn one. He leaves it in there. Bradley's in the room, and he's going to fully take advantage. In fact, squeezes Brad out. Visualise then takes advantage as well. The Belgian then gets past. Gorsh grab just behind as well. The reserve, of course, in today, but he's not going to quite get the move done for now. Brad now on the outside of Visualise, heading down towards turn 5, and he's not going to be quite able to get the move done for now. But Liam is making inroads. It was an aggressive move, but in terms of Liam's perspective, it was necessary.
Yeah, he needed to. He knows after that terrible qualifying, he needs to make up as many positions as quick as possible before everybody gets a bit too stretched out. And obviously, I think Brad left in the room. Liam might have squeezed him a bit on the exit, but he needed to get that done. And obviously, it might have compromised Brad a little bit as well by letting him obviously visualise getting past him. But for Liam, he did what he needed to do. What I will say is, I was on board with Liam and Visualise, and Visualise is keeping up with Liam, but Liam's really started to put his foot down now, and he's already. I don't think it's going to be long before that he's on the back of Wastel and Gianni. But just to know, Dralix has managed to. It was 1.5 seconds as it crossed the line, but Dralix has Leopard made an error somewhere? Now it's down to half a second now, so I'm just going to stay on board with these two.
I don't know, it's just starting to fall off just a little bit, but still, Dralix, we saw it last time at Monza, where of course overtaking is, well, it was possibly one of the best tracks for overtaking, really, at Monza, and he just couldn't get the move done on Gianni, and then you put him in a situation like Singapore, and then you really start to question if he gets close enough, can he make a move?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I think we both mentioned last week how we thought it was, Dralix sets the fastest lap, how we thought he was being a little bit cautious. Obviously, Gianni was braking a little bit later than him, but he didn't go for the move when early enough. He was kind of a bit too cautious. So, going to be interesting to see if he does, like you said, if he does get close enough.
Oh, car off!
That's
big crash in the background. That was LCR Charlie. I was just on board with Gorsh and just in the background. We just see this car go flying off, and that was the Toro Rosso, and that is the end of his day. So we had no DNFs in the wet Monza. We've already lost one in the wet Singapore.
Just to note, King Liam is really starting to reduce that gap to Wastel. It's now down to 1.2 seconds. It was over 2 seconds. He's bringing Visualise with him as well. So Visualise is only second off Liam. So we soon could have a 4-way battle for P3. So looks like Liam is going to be close enough as they're just about to come onto Raffles Boulevard here. Let's see if he can get close enough and get the move done. Is it turn 8 down here? No, turn 5? I don't know. I'm not very good with turn 7. There's so many corners on this track, I just get lost. So, but he wasn't close enough.
Yeah, bit of an anticlimactic end to that one.
My apologies, everybody.
So all this build up, but then no, it's not always meant to be. It's a 31 lap race, I mean, fair play. You might as well take your time. Of course, I'm sure Leopard and Apex know about taking the time. They've just done a 24-hour endurance race around Daytona, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be used to endurance side of things. And then you put them to this, think like this is child's play to them. As Charlie leaves the session as expected, shame to be maybe more from him next week, but of course Liam is still on the back of the Alfa Romeo Sauber, and the thing is Visualise was closing up. He sort of dropped off a little bit, but I always talk about this. If Liam and Wastel battle, and fair play, Wastel is battling for position, so he'll give him as much of the fight as he possibly can. Visualise will close up.
Oh yeah, definitely. We saw that last week massively. How look at that. They've started battling a little bit. Look, it was 1.5. It's now down to 1.2 already. Just shows with a little bit of battling how close everyone can get. Well, you're on board with that battle. I'm just on board with the battle for 9th and 10th between Drizit's Revenge and Verstappen. Obviously, Verstappen, after that big error at the start.
Liam on Wastel heading towards the final corner. It's not really using an overtaking move, but down through the bottom of the corner. He gets a 3 second time. That could be clinical for him, but he has the move done. Wastel then gets rid of oversteer, and that is quite possibly the end of that. That's all she wrote. And that came out of absolutely nothing. It was heading out of turn number 21, just as they then came into 22, and it's not a conventional overtake move. Usually you try and get a good exit out of 23 and 22, and then have it down towards turn 1, but all of a sudden Liam's now into P4, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. But in terms of the leaders, it's still Leopard leads, Dralek second, and the gap has come out to about 1.4, so slowly Leopard is creeping away from the Canadian.
Yep, slowly but surely started to put the pace down. Just another one to add into the mix. We were just talking about that. Boris, who obviously got spun on lap 1, is also, pardon me, starting to catch up to Waystall and Visualize. This battle for P5. So he's just one to watch over the next few laps as Waystall gets himself a time penalty.
That's not going to do any favours. Brad is still being hindered by the weight of Verstappen. And, well, Verstappen, it was a race of two tails at the start for both of these guys. You know, Brad, he had okay pace at the start and it started to drop off. Verstappen just had one massive sucker punch of lap 1 and is trying to get himself back into it. But so far, he doesn't know if he's found his groove in the wet, as Brad going for a Tokyo drift there at turn number, I want to say 11. And now he comes through the Singapore sling. I think I'm maybe a bit too early for that one. But he's still all over the back. In fact, he almost kissed the back of him there as we were on board Verstappen. Let's see if he goes to move heading down towards the hairpin, sort of veers the inside. Nope, he slides under brakes and very nearly sort of goes straight into the back of Brad. But there's definitely a move on the cards here, Smith.
Oh yeah, definitely. Is Verstappen going to be close up? No, he thinks it's, especially obviously with no DRS or anything here, it's going to be even harder to pass. He's got to get real close or do what Liam did and just do it absolutely out of the blue when you're not expecting it. So, obviously these two are battling for the minor points, but it's still, every point is crucial. Doesn't matter where it is, where you are in the top 10. Well, Strizic gets a bit of oversteer there. Coming out as he comes out of the bridge, under the bridge section, sorry. Verstappen is visibly closer here. If he can get a good run through the final corner, might be able to get him through turn 1.
Ooh, bit of a twitch.
Yep.
Oof.
That was
that
chance.
one I thought was going to be in the wall.
Yeah, that was a brilliant save, to be honest. I have to give it to him. That really killed any momentum he had of trying to get past Brad there, but he's still really close. This is I always like it. Like, obviously, we always go on board with the guys at the top, but it's always nice to see a good, real hard battle for the minor points, like these two are here. This is lap after lap, but I think Verstappen's close enough here. Brad goes defensive, but looks like Verstappen's going to get the move done into turn 7 here. But they're going side by side. Brad's going to have the inside. Ooh, a little bit of touch there. But Brad, what brilliant fighting from those guys. It looked like for a moment Verstappen had got the move done, but Brad says, hell no, you ain't coming through. And he managed to get him. He has the line for turn 8, and he gets the pace back.
Yeah, brilliant bit of American spirit there from Brad, and he's done his best to defend. Meanwhile, Verstappen has a bit of a poor exit again. Will he try and sort of slide it down the inside? He's going to try it ending towards the hairpin. Bradley's in the room just about, but I think because he tried the inside line there, I don't think he's got enough to try and go for the move potentially. Not quite just yet, but Verstappen's definitely knocking on the door. Now he tries to dart down the inside here for not really too many overtakes tried here, but he's going to try it down the inside, and it's a fairly good move. And will he go to hold it? Not quite just yet. He's now come up towards turn 17. Long way around for Brad as LCR Leopard goes fastest, and finally Verstappen barges his way through at the exit of turn 17. Pops out with P9, but an incredible bit of scrapping for, like you said, just some minor points, but nice to see between them. Now we've got a sort of race going on a bit further up. Boris, Visualize and Waystall scrapping heavily for P5, and Boris looks to be the one that wants to get past the most.
Believe it or not, we're still only on lap 10. So there's still plenty of racing to do. So there's still 21 laps left of this race. It feels like this race has already been going on for a long time, but we've still got 21 laps to go. But Visualize is visibly closer there, coming through the Singapore Sling. He's about to go over the bridge. He's really close to Waystall. Maybe the time is now for the Belgium to get past the two-time pro champion. We'll have to see if he can get a run out of here.
Boris still just behind though. Don't forget the man who led the World Championship at one point. Led it for 2 races at the start of the season. Fun fact. I love a fun fact, me. But meanwhile, I know we said we weren't going to talk too much about the race leaders, and I'd probably get excited over nothing. But Dralex is now back to 1.2 seconds. Now that gap was extended up to 2 seconds. It's come down by 8 tenths and has continued to come down. Is Leopard starting to struggle?
It's down with it. Oh, it was nearly down to a second there. You literally took the words out of my mouth. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye that it was gone down from 2 seconds to 1.2. So that's both spotted that
Wastel moment.
Is Visualize going to make the move? No, he's behind him. Too cautious maybe, or maybe just wasn't close enough. Obviously, we're not in the cockpit. We want these drivers to make these moves, but obviously, we're not in the cockpit, so we can't make decisions. Look how close these guys are, though. Literally a shoestring between them as they go down.
Yeah, Visualize now going to go. Wastel goes to the inside. He now goes a long way round for the Belgium. Cambridge again. Now Boris only comes out of nowhere and makes a little bit of contact with the pair of them, sort of nudges them forward. That then forces Visualize out wide. Now down inside again, he goes through turn 8. Can he potentially try and hold it this time? Wastel's still going to do his best to hold it through turn 9. Boris probably right behind, sniffing an opportunity. Now he takes the opportunity, tries to get past Visualize. A little bit of contact, but they just about managed to get away with it. But they still come out in the same order they left in, heading towards the Singapore sling, and that was really a good sign of things to come between these guys. Wastel is almost certainly looking to be struggling with his tyres. Visualize and Boris seem right on top of it, but for now, the two-time pro champion, experienced in his ways with defending, holds that P5 for now.
Oh, brilliant racing from these guys. Obviously, we had a few light taps in there, but nothing too big. And obviously, Boris, you can tell he is sniffing to get up. He tried to put his nose in against Visualizer going through turn 9, and as Boris gets to 5 seconds, it's that corner.
No.
It's that corner. That's exactly the same corner where Visualize got it the lap before. Boris gets a 5-second stop go. Oh, he's going for the undercut.
Yeah, we saw Brad do it. He came in earlier, just last lap, but now Dralex has come in, Liam comes in, so Liam's going to copy him, so maybe he's going to try and do a potential lengthy undercut. Wastel comes in, but of course Boris stays out. We expect a Visualizer crash in the wall. He's just crashed the exit of turn 23, and that is probably the best news for Wastel possible, because now that means that he hasn't got to worry about him, he's just got to worry about Boris, but that is such a shame for the Belgium. Just when their battle was starting to look really fierce between himself, Boris and Wastel, it's just ended just like that.
Oh, absolutely devastating for the Belgian driver. Just having a wonderful battle. One slight error and he was in the wall. I actually didn't catch that myself but I'm on board with Dralex now. Seeing he's really got to get these tyres up to temperature ASAP and push really hard if he wants to drop that gap. It was only just a second when he came in. See if he can get any closer to Leopard or get in front of him.
Let's go on board with the two-time world champion to see if he responds immediately. He's going to stay out another lap, so maybe he doesn't think that coming in this early is quite an option. What's Gianni going to do behind? Will the flying thing come in responding to Liam pitting just a lap ago? Of course, he had about an 8-second gap, but of course, as expected, that may come down, excuse me, but into the pits he comes. 5-second stop go for speed in the pit lane, and that is harsh.
Obviously, just to note, Boris also stayed out, but Dralex has got it down, the gap down to 26.6 here. Verstappen also overtakes Gianni. Gianni comes out in P5. Gianni is still ahead of Liam. Yeah, but it's now only 2 seconds, that gap now. So the undercut worked. He managed to gain a bit of time, gain 6 seconds on Gianni. We might see Dralex just come out in front of Leopard. It's going to be an interesting one. Just stay on board with Leopard here as he goes under the bridge. See if he decides to come in this lap. This will obviously bode well for Leopard later on in the race. He'll have fresher tyres. As he stays out again, that looks like a corner. That looked like a warning to me. But yeah, so Leopard stays out again, so he's going to have a lot fresher tyres than Dralex. Dralex has got it down to 25.4, so he's managed to... That's about a second this lap on these fresher tyres that he's managed to get back on Leopard. So obviously keep an eye on that, and Liam is catching Gianni as well. Yeah, it's down to a second now. It was 2.7, I think, when he came out of the pits. So obviously Verstappen is on his older tyres, is holding Gianni up here, and that is allowing Liam to catch him. And that's amazing that gap. Oh, Liam had a massive moment coming over the bridge there. Whew. I thought that was going to be in the wall, but he managed to...
Gianni tried to go to the inside there on Verstappen. A little bit of wheel banging on the two, but just about managed to get away. Of course, you know, in terms of Gianni, he wants to get past as soon as possible. But now with Liam on the back of him, he's going to want to get past both of the pair of these guys and climb up. Just to let you know, another lap completed for Leopard and another lap without pitting as Gianni gets a 5-second stop go for extension. That's his second 5-second stop go of the race alongside his speeding in the pit lane, which will have to serve later on. But if Verstappen is going for the one stop, just like Leopard, then he is really in a fight with these guys because, of course, they have another stop to go. But Dralex goes fastest, 53.5, and Liam now is probably smelling the chance to get past the Red Bull, potentially heading down to turn 23 if he can get good exit. And again, it's not quite. He's sliding the back end and couldn't quite get it ready to go. And Gianni is still not close enough to the back of Verstappen just yet, but maybe heading down towards turn 7, Smith.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see as they go when they go down to Raffles Bluff. Like you were saying about Verstappen, if he's on a one-stop, he is well as Gianni makes the move now.
Yep, and here comes Liam, going to try and follow him through. He's going to do his best. He slides and power slides his way out. He couldn't quite do it, but now surely the lunge heading down towards turn 7 might be enough. He now goes to the inside. Verstappen, of course, sort of boxed him, really. He couldn't do anything there, but potentially, and he's going to hold the position, though, as Verstappen. That's not good news at all for Liam, as he slides the back end out of turn number 7, and that could potentially put a little bit of a nail into the coffin in terms of Liam closing up towards Gianni.
Yeah, that all came from... Verstappen had a terrible exit out of turn 4 or 5. I don't know. I'm lost. But he had a terrible exit, and that just allowed Gianni to get close enough, and Verstappen gave him the room, and obviously he will take that with both hands. He's already pulled out a 1.2 second gap. That just shows the difference between the fresher tyres already. And Liam must be absolutely seething. He's got to get past ASAP here if he wants any chance of sticking with Gianni the rest of this race. As Leopard's pit, Leopard is in the pit.
He's finally in. The question is, though, will Boris follow him? Because, of course, Boris is, you know, he's now just in front of Dralex. He's going to stay out another lap, which means that Dralex will have to pass him on track. Could he be an obstacle in this fight? Here they go, though. Past goes Boris and past goes Dralex. And now Dralex has the net race lead, which is just what he needs to go on to try and win the Singapore Grand Prix. Meanwhile, behind, Liam has just passed Verstappen, who's now darted it into the pits. So now he's got that clean air ahead of him. But Dralex is not in the lead just yet. He's got to get past Boris to really secure and be able to get away from Leopard.
Yeah, so obviously Dralex came in a lot earlier there, and he's undercut Leopard by a good 5 seconds by doing that strategy. But obviously he he will have to stop again, we think. So he's got to get past Boris here. You've got to think Boris's tyres must be absolutely dying as well right now. So does Dralex try and get past now, or does he? I've got to expect Boris. You've got to expect Boris to come in this lap. So we'll have to wait and see.
But first things first, he's got to get past Boris, and maybe it might about to be as simpler as we expect. Out of turn 21, will Boris go to the left? He is not going to pit. He stays out again, and he's probably LCR Leopard's best friend forever at this moment in time.
Oh yeah, look at that. Leopard is caught 1.5 seconds in one lap because Boris is holding up Dralex. Dralex must be screaming under that helmet thinking, get out of my way, you're not in this battle. But he still can't get past him. But Boris is within his rights. Oh,
it's a lag! It's a lag situation! Unbelievable scenes there. Dralex has just lost a heap of time because of a lag situation. I believe he might have just sort of lagged into the Brit. It's a problem with Canadian over to British internet. It never quite goes so well. And that has really just hindered the back of VSR Dralex.
I I think that was actually Boris's internet. Actually, I think he lagged back into Dralix, and he's happened again. So whether he's got damage, I don't think he has. But I do think that was Boris's internet, not the Canadians. I think I saw Boris actually lag back into him, but obviously we don't know. And obviously then Dralix has recorded it. But this is a lot. Look at Leopard now. He's second behind him. Absolutely gutting for Dralix. Let's hope for his championship hopes that he hasn't got damage.
But anyway, Boris again with a poor exit. Will he this time pit? And yes, he does. And that is probably a saving grace for Dralix. But Leopard has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. This is the plot with many twists. And it never ever wants to end. It's like eating a Twister ice lolly. It just continues to taste of different flavours. And all of a sudden, Dralix has even bigger of a chance.
Just when you thought the race was swinging in Leopard's direction, boom. He gets a time penalty and this throws the race wide open. Obviously Leopard's half a second behind, but really, Dralix has a 3.5 second lead here over Leopard. So, all still to play for. This is why we love LCR. It's the gift that never stops giving. There's always twists and turns. And this is just another twist in the title battle.
Indeed it is, but we're on lap 18 of 31. The middle part of the race just seems to have sort of disappeared now, thank goodness for that. We said it's the longest track on the calendar. I was expecting a bore fest. We most certainly have not. I was proved wrong by LCR once again. They continue to create their legacy here in Singapore. We're on lap 19 of 31. It's still Dralix who leads ahead of LCR Leopard, but we expect Dralix to maybe have another stop to go. I don't know. He could try it. You know, there's no harm in trying of going to the end, but I wonder with the amount of time he's going to lose in the pit stop phase, you know, it's going to be a lot of time lost. We saw him kind of about lap 12 on his set of intermediates. Will we see him come in about the same stage again and just hammer it to the end? But with around about, what was it, about 28-second pit stop? It's a long old one. I've just checked the chat, of course. We're only reading it for the first time. Apparently there's been issues with Liam's tyre temps. Apparently some sort of glitch. I remember it happened to UK Duck Predator at the Monaco Grand Prix. But also, of course, Racer and LCR Visualize just come in with a good bit of information for us, which could really turn the tide of this race all of a sudden. He's come in and said it was easy to one-stop it. Apparently 13 laps was about 40 to 45% tyre wear. So maybe all these guys just wanted to get off their worn set and just make this stint go out forever. But meanwhile, Liam is side by side with Verstappen. This is two aggressive drivers going head to head, but Liam gets it done. I used to call him the King 25 the Verstappen of another league, and well, going up against the guy that's called TR Verstappen, you knew that might have just ended in one way or another. But with that bit of information that 13 laps was in actual fact 40 to 45%, maybe we're wrong. Maybe everyone just wanted to get off their original set and just have a stint that just goes longer.
Yeah, maybe. So, maybe Dralix doesn't have to stop again. He's actually pulled a little bit of a gap here. Not much, as there we go. That is the reason why. He sets the fastest lap of the race. I just had a look at penalties. And Dralix has 2 warnings. So, one more. And that could well swing back in Leopard's favour. So, I'll have to keep an eye on that over the next few laps, but obviously we don't have to. We'll see if he gets a penalty, gets another warning. We'll see it. So as Boris picks up a penalty, as he's actually really catching up to Wastel here for the battle for P4.
Yeah, of course, after his massive overcut, and I mean massive, it was about 6 laps. Look at this 6-lap difference between Wastel and Boris. So Boris is definitely on fresher tyres. And of course, he's now looking for a way past again, past the pro champ. Of course, he was in a battle with Visualize, but unfortunately, we all saw what happened to him. Unfortunate for the Belgian, but nevertheless, these two Britons are going to now prove what could have been, really, as we're going to see a really good scrap of P4. And fair play to Wastel here. He has really performed well today after a fairly strong qualifying. You know, he got P8, nothing really that threw on fire. But as the race has gone on, he has really gone to show why he is a 2-time pro champion. Sorry, Boris kisses the wall there on the outside at the hairpin. But it don't know if he's going to get damage. Fortunately, reduced damage in LCR is a thing, and that means he's okay. But he's right on the back of Wastel. Please, for good God, don't end in the DC incident. Meanwhile, the gaps will be fluctuating between two leaders, but Boris trying to force his way down the inside at turn 16. Wastel having none of that, but potentially on the inside, heading down towards turn 18 underneath the bridge. Not quite a usually conventional overtaken maneuver. You have seen it before, but maybe just sort of hold yourself out. But you can definitely see Boris is clearly a lot more comfortable on his fresher, and I mean fresher. There's 6 laps difference, don't forget, between these two guys. So he's definitely the quicker of the two. But they now come out of turn 22, out of turn 23. We're on board with Boris, and let's see if they'll have a move down towards turn 1. Again, a bit of snaking movement there from Wastel, and Boris shifts to the inside line. Down the inside goes Boris Letterbox on Wastel for P4, and it's a magnificent move as his teammate goes faster. Will Wastel come back down towards turn 4? Yes, he will, just about. We're able to hold it though. No, not quite just yet. And now as they come up towards turn number 5, it ultimately is P4 for Boris, and now means again we're in the same formation of it being Renault Sauber, Renault Sauber. Now, Leopard is right on the back of him, and of course, Leopard's probably worrying a little bit now. Now, know that of course he has to get past Alex and also get a further 3 seconds in front. And of course, don't forget, I've said it before, these two have only been a maximum of 2 seconds apart when they're on the same strategy. Because when they pit, there was quite a distance, but you know, they haven't been further than 2 seconds apart all race. And all of a sudden now, Leopard has got to try and get past and reach out a further 3 seconds. Surely, Dralex is going to do enough here to claim his first victory. Or is he down the inside? Goes Boris. Leopard out of turn 8. That came absolutely nowhere. That was a man. That was just. Where did that come from? I said Boris because I was that shocked.
That, to be fair, I'm not quite sure. That could have ended in tears for Leopard there. Really wasn't a place to get the move done. He could. I feel like he obviously does have the pace, but he's getting a little bit impatient now. He wants to get this move done. I mean, maybe he knows. I'm sure he'll know that Dralex doesn't have a penalty yet. So, as Leopard goes again up the inside, that looked like a cut as well. I'll just check, as I'll let you just stay on board with this battle.
Yep, as Dralex is now still ahead, but Leopard is getting desperate, to say the least. He is probably starting to break a sweat. He hasn't probably had to do that all season long, in my opinion. You know, he's always had the confidence of having the 2-time World Championship name behind him. All of a sudden this season, 3 men have come along and said, you're not here to dominate LCR anymore. We are here with the new generation of LCR drivers, and we're here to make an impression. King Leon 25, VSR Dralex, VSR Clonetroop before he buggered off. It's all about giving Leopard the biggest fight of his life. Get your gloves up, boys. This is heavyweight fighting at its best. Here they come now, out down towards turn 5. Will Dralex have to defend against Leopard? It's a fairly slidey exit from both parties, but with the slipstream, will it be enough? I don't think it is, but maybe with overtake mode he could try it. Again, not quite close enough just yet, but will we see another lunge heading towards turn 7? He's right on the back of him again. He now shifts to the outside as Dralex gone defensive. Long way round for the German, and again he couldn't quite get it done. And again, Dralex is doing everything he needs to. He's just pointing his car in the right directions, and maybe now he's found that champion's mentality that is needed, Smith.
Oh yeah, absolutely brilliant. He's putting his car in exactly the right place, just so Leopard can't get past. He's going to have to go defensive. Leopard was... Oh, I think Leopard touched him there, and if I was Leopard, I'd let him back through. I think Leopard made an audacious lunge there, and I think he touched him. So fair play to Leopard there and letting him back through, because I think that was Leopard's mistake. Obviously, just a quick thought off this battle further down that...
Oh, Leopard! Sorry, I'm getting too excited. I saw him drop the back end out of that corner and my heart sunk. I'm so sorry. But again, he couldn't quite get down the edge. He runs wide. Leopard runs wide again. And this is really desperate stuff. This is very un-Leopard-esque.
And but Dralex is just doing everything right now to hold up Leopard. That looked like another corner cut from Leopard. I'm just gonna, in a second, as Dralex is gonna have to go defensive here into turn 1. Well, Leopard makes an audacious lunge.
Where did that come from again? Don't discount the German now. Dralex can defend on the outside line. And again, Leopard has the race lead from an absolutely audacious move that was pure filth. You'd only find that on an incognito cam on Google Chrome. What on earth was that from the German? But now it's a defensive mindset from Dralex to keep the gap under 3 seconds.
Oh God, this is heart-stopping. We've got 2 laps here. Dralex is managed to bring the gap down a tiny little bit here. He's got to push. As Gianni gets another 5-second stop-go for speeding in the pit lane. Not been Gianni's day. Not a clue.
Why is Gianni pit?
Maybe
he's lost the podium.
He was on 17 lap old intermediate, so maybe he was losing a bit. So maybe he decided that is good for King Liam, as that promotes him up to P4. He might actually get P3 here. Let me just have a check, because I think Boris has got a penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he's got a stop go, and he's got a penalty. So let me just check Liam. Oh, Liam's got a penalty as well. Maybe 2. So I might be wrong there. My apologies. As the gap, as the gap with Dralex is now out of that 3-second window. Really, really sad for the Canadian driver.
To watch.
Yeah.
Final sector for Leopard, and well, what can you say about this man that hasn't already been said? All he's done all season long has been challenged, and he's constantly been challenged, but he is a man that rises up to the challenge week in, week out, and surely today he will extend out his championship lead. Round turn 21 for the final time, and now it's all about the run through the double kink lefts, and the German, the pantomime villain, LCR Leopard, takes victory in Singapore after an unbelievable ding-dong battle, and Dralex is left leaving in the sorrows of P2. It's only 18 points, and again he misses out on an opportunity for his first victory of the season. But I'll put it in perspective for you, that's his 7th podium of the season, and he's never stood on the top spot. Boris might be about to come home with P3 depending on the stop go. We'll have to wait and see what happens in terms of after the race for that one. As meanwhile, the last lap ding dong here going on between Gianni and Waithel. Up to the line for Boris. He comes home P3. Or is it going to be the top 3 in the champs that come home first, second, and third? No! Liam comes home P4, which means Renault again scored 27 points and walk out today as the winning team. Gianni got a last lap move done after his pit stop to get past Waithel, and that means the 2 Saubers will come home 6th and 7th respectively, with Brad a good half a minute behind and Apex, well, a minute behind and a lap down. But there we have it, Smith, and Leopard takes victory. Just put in perspective for you, Leopard will now jump to 20 points clear at the front of the championship and 25 clear of Dralex. Liam is still ahead thanks to the P4 right at the end.
Absolute brilliant racing, but I'm going to give it to Boris. He obviously had that moment at the start of the race where he came together with Verstappen, but he managed to really fight back and get an absolute brilliant podium there. So my driver of the day is Boris.